Who developed the lock and the key? The initial step for the key and lock is replaced by ancient Egypt. Egyptians rushed to use locks because they lacked keys. Formerly, doors could only be opened with a pin or a bolt hammer. The first key may have been created in ancient Greece approximately 350 BC. The use of keys and locks that have been around for a very long time is essential to ongoing security operations. They are utilized in various SPO, the basic, which is arguably the oldest kind of wealth, dependent on the kind of keys, has long been disputed. It can be used to open locks and, less frequently, to lock them. Another explanation of a foundation supervisor is crucial since it can either imply a person who controls entry into and departure from a space or office, or it can suggest a specific secretarial head or chief. Either way, having obstruction is essential for progress without innovation. Show what a key and lock are. Was it made possible by humans from earlier times? The lock is unlocked by introducing a key. The majority of locking mechanisms used to require a key in the past, hence keys were typically crafted from spoons or forks. Due to their adaptability and capacity to be made from a single piece of metal, keys quickly became commonplace. Since most locking mechanisms required a key, historically recognized keys were fashioned from spoons or forks. Keys swiftly rose to prominence in the history of keys and locks. Keys in ancient Rome featured complicated designs that made it feasible to memorize them by touching them because they could lock and open themselves. These secures were eventually referred to as skeleton keys. The history of keys and locks. A key, which is a little piece of metal, considering its portability and ability to be created using a single piece of metal, is inserted into a lock to unlock it. Since most locking mechanisms required a key in the past, keys were traditionally crafted out of spoons or forks. The common history of keys and locks was quickly attached to keys. Old Rome's keys were embellished with disparate models that enhanced them in order to remember the legitimate basis of entrances and exits for ancient Egypt. Affirmation of their use in the nation follows studies in the 18th century on giving locks and keys a lengthy history in ancient Egypt, which many would deem implausible. Ancient Egyptians employed locks for a variety of functions, including as safeguarding against severe impacts and food supplies, as well as enhancing the security of doors and passages. The oldest Egyptian time lock ever found is the 18th line time lock from Saqqara. It consists of a bolt and a snare with a keyhole. The words Hermhotep, boss, clergyman of Thutmose, 1628 to 1614 BCE, and his dad expert Thutmose are written on the lock's highest point, 1526 to 1504 BCE. According to Hermhotep's scratching, a doorway was completely locked quite some time ago. There is a department that houses the key inside the space where the lock is kept tidy. When the office is empty and the key is inside, it is always locked. Modern locks and key kinds such as locks and keys have been around for a while. The first lock discovered dates back to 3200 BC in ancient Egypt, when people first employed the ancient Egyptian system of locks and keys, which underwent significant development throughout history to meet the needs of modern culture. There are many different combinations of locks and keys available nowadays. The most amazing type of lock is a pin tumbler lock, which has 5 pins that are moving at different levels, with one side being taller than the other to allow turning and opening the door or compartment. These pins should be key compatible so that they can be adjusted in height. Electronic locks. Another kind of lock is clear for people without keys to enter. If it is locked, therefore it can be unlocked without a key using power or magnets. Instead of using a key, electronic locks are commonly seen as being ideal for sliding doors, car tunnels, and carport approaches. In general, rotating a large handle with numbers or letters on it opens a door with a combination lock.